Hi, this is Danny Doyle, and welcome back to my Fire Emblem 8: The Sacred Stones free play LTC. Chapter 10 is an extremely complicated map that I'll have to explain my multifaceted, complex plan of clearing in one turn. The first step is to select Valter with the cursor. The second step is to move Valter so that he is adjacent to Pablo, who is the boss of this chapter. The third step is to attack Pablo with Valter, which causes him to one-round him, instantly killing Pablo. Well, I mean, Pablo does make his retreat, but he's never shown up in this game again because, we're completing Hamel Canyon in one turn as well. Since Glen can reach the throne from his starting position, that's an easy one-turn clear that doesn't even require any uses of warp. We do also automatically get all of the green units. Unfortunately, miss out on Marissa, but it actually wasn't possible to get Marissa. I was only 2 tiles short if I replaced Garrick with a Cavalier, since I don't have any, farther moving people that I could replace him with, because even if I made him a Paladin or a Wyvern or something, he wouldn't be able to reach. It was very tragic because I had a really cool way to recruit her set up, but I was just 1 tile short, alas. Marissa fandom is in shambles. Before taking on Chapter 11, there are a couple of errands I need to do. I need to purchase a second torch staff. Unfortunately, I was under the mistaken impression that I didn't have any torches, so I purchased 2 of them. This cost me a little bit more gold than I would have liked to have spent, but I don't actually think it makes a huge difference. I have a bunch of promotion items I can sell, and I'm not sure how many items I'm actually going to have to buy. The second errand is just to buy a bunch of javelins, which is fairly standard. I also grabbed some hand axes because there is an axe unit coming up soon who's going to be useful to some clears. Cormag is getting some love. He needs an energy ring and a speed wing in order to reach the thresholds I need him to reach. Chapter 11 is a fairly complicated clear. Due to the fact that it has Fog of War, it's harder to warp people to the places they need to be, and due to the fact that it's a route map, I need to send a bunch of people to a bunch of different corners of the map. Thankfully, I have Molder and Sale available to use the torch staves in the right-hand side and bottom-hand side of the map so that I can get all of my warpers to, warp where they need to go. I didn't comment on this earlier, but by Hammerning, I was able to get Selena to reach warp rank in Chapter 10, which is just on time, because I need to do 4 warps on turn 1. We are going to send Valter down to the south to deal with that group of enemies, and we are going to warp Orson a very short distance, but he's going into that forest to deal with the zombies. He is, once again, the most unreliable part of this route map. It's a little bit frustrating, but honestly, it's kind of in character that Orson is constantly betraying my attempts to beat the game. Anyway, the last 2 warps are using Lyon's extra long warp range. He's going to go ahead and send Glen into the rightmost room in the center, and then after I dance him, he is going to go ahead and send Cormag to the upper right side of the map, that sort of outdoor area where there's the forests and a couple of moth dogs and stuff. Cormag appears to be unreliable as he has 50s against a lot of the enemies that he needs to kill, but it's more reliable than it appears. We are doing a 2-turn of this map, so he has roughly 4 attempts to kill each of these moth dogs and only needs to hit them once. Glen, on the other hand, is feeding higher hit rates than 50%. Orson is the real trouble here. He could achieve 100% if he used an Iron Sword, but unfortunately that would lure an archer in the fog into attacking him and not dying on enemy phase. And we need everyone to die on enemy phase. Valter just clears up some space by killing that eyeball. It is actually necessary for him to kill it on player phase, though, because it frees up the slot for another monster who's waiting in the fog to attack him. After we're done with an RNG burn, Hayden is going to go ahead and move into position to enemy phase these skeletons with a killing edge that we acquired on Distant Blade. Orson now has to hit 2 75s each time that he faces a zombie. In total, there were 3 zombies that Orson's going to fight, so he has to hit 6 75s, which is definitely more unreliable than it sounds on the surface. Like, yes, 75% hit seems like it's better than Cormag facing 50s on everything, but considering that Orson can't afford a single miss, and Cormag is allowed to miss several times, like, Orson does have the tougher job, but it's funny to be rough on him, so Orson keeps betraying us, and he's such a little dick. I fucking hate this guy. I mean, I really do hate Orson. I have been shouting at my computer, you little fucknuts, because he keeps missing. He keeps missing. Anyway, the rest of this enemy phase just sort of plays out with red units who are incredibly weak, suiciding onto blue units who are incredibly strong. I will see you at the start of player phase. Orson's a fucknuts, though. I really don't like him. By the way, the 2 green units on this map are Kalek and Fado, and they both have hand axes equipped. Kalek is actually going to be making use of his, as he will see combat on green unit phase attacking some skeletons that I need him to kill for the clear. But Fado is going to remain stationary because La Rochelle's AI is non-aggressive. He still needs to have the hand axe equipped, however, as him being equipped encourages the monsters to attack our other units. If he were unequipped, they would attack him, and then they wouldn't die, and it would cause problems for us on enemy phase. So we begin turn 2 player phase by having Glen kill the longbow archer that Cormag was unable to counter. Exact breakage of the javelin, super satisfying. Anyway, Hayden is now going to use the silver sword to kill the skeleton. He technically could kill the other skeletons with a killing edge, but the silver sword has 5 more hit, and the number of times I had to reset this map, I'll take the accuracy. We're going to warp Orson again. This is the second warp of the run that we get with Selena, so absolutely already paying off dividends. Now Orson can use that iron sword that he desperately wanted to in order to kill this skeleton with a bow. Now it's time for someone to use a Hammer'n staff on Selena for once, which is, kind of fun. This time it is purely so that we can repair the warp staff. We're just giving ourselves +3 warp usages. We've already got all the experience that we need on Reeve, and we've got all the staff experience we need on him. I am using the torch twice with Saleh because I don't really have anything else for this middle group to do. Saleh is here as sort of like a backup condition. If Hayden missed any of the skeletons he needed to on enemy phase turn 1, he could bolting them to kill them. But since Hayden hit them all, then Saleh can just grind a little bit of a staff experience and regular experience with Torch. I don't think Saleh ever hits Warp, but I'd rather do it and have it come up than not do it and have it, come up in a bad way. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and move our big carry over, and then after an RNG burn, I will talk about enemy phase. There's not that many enemies left. The concerning ones are this Revenant, who we need Kalik to hit 3 out of 4 times with a roughly 70 hit rate, and the Death Goyle, who I cannot kill with a Javelin on our big bad boy over there. So we just use the chest key to convoy whip the Javelin and equip the Spear. Technically speaking, I could have equipped the Spear during player phase, but it saves me 1 use to do the convoy warp, and hey, maybe it'll come up later. Anyway, other than that, there's basically just enemies suiciding into powerful blue units for the rest of the chapter. So yeah, I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in.